And of course, the cousin of let is const. And this is the most strict way to declare a variable. And my advice is to use const as much as possible because it gets you to organize your code in a much more structured way. Const was introduced at the same time as let. It's more strict and it's limited to the scope it's declared in. But this is the important aspect of it. Its value cannot change. And like I said, it just results in you being more organized in the way you code. Let's have a look at an example. Well, let's say we've got a name of Wally and we use the const keyword. If I try and put the const name equals Wally B, it won't work. It'll throw me an error. It was the same as let. We weren't able to do that with let either. But with let, remember we could reassign a value to a variable by just not having the let keyword. We just had the name. Well, if we try that with const, we get an error, which is very, very awesome. And just bear in mind, when you're using const, you must initialize a value. You cannot just type const name, for example. You have to assign a value at the same time you initialize it. Hope that makes sense. Let's continue. Just quickly before we move on, I want to show you the differences between var and const when it comes to reassigning and redeclaring variables. Firstly, with var, let's define a variable called a, and let's just make that 10. With var, we had so much flexibility, which you could argue is good, but the flip side is that it caused a lot of bugs and a lot of errors in your code. Because var allows you to do whatever you want. Right now, if I type a, we would expect 10, because we've declared it as 10. We've assigned the value 10 to it. But what happens if I reassign it? var a equals 15. What's a now? Well, this is where we start muddling up all our variables. Because now what the parser has actually done is it's overwritten a to 15. And you can see that here. We've actually lost our value 10. That's the one implication of var. The other implication is that we don't even have to redeclare it. We can just reassign it by typing a equals 8. Now a equals 8, as you would expect. Now we've lost the 15. So you can see we can do weird things with var. We can even go var a equals 1. Then on the next line we can go var a equals 2. And so forth and so on. And this is where const comes into the picture. Const solves this problem. It makes us be more organized as coders. It helps us to be more structured and to think about the variables we create. Let's try the same thing with const. Let's define a car. And let's make that car a BMW. If I type car, we should get BMW. But now we've used the const keyword. So if I want to now override it and go const car equals, I don't know, Toyota, it literally gives me an unexpected identifier. What about if I just try to reassign it by typing car and doing it this way? Nope, I get a very similar error. I get an uncaught type error, assignment to a constant variable. This is the awesome thing about const. Let's continue.